So I must do a video on the resignation of one Boris Johnson, becoming the third Tory to leave number 10, following in the footsteps of Theresa May and David Cameron. And no, I won't be hopping on board the bashing Boris brigade. Yes, a lot of alliteration today. I don't consider Boris stepping down as a sign of good fortune, more the omen of unnerving dread. The reason being, and I was reading an article by Brendan O'Neill, and I happen to agree with him, is if you look at British politics in, say, the last 6 or 7 years, around Brexit, that was the vote that shocked the world, jolted the elites, and helped pave the way for the election of Donald Trump. Looking at the British apparatus around that time, there seemed to be very little support for Brexit, if any. Labour was overwhelmingly Remain. You can count the number of Labour Brexiteers on one hand. The media? Almost none. They were too busy chastising the public for being stupid, xenophobic, and don't know what the hell they voted for. The Tories didn't exactly seem too thrilled about it either, which is why it seemed for years that the will of the voters might actually get overturned. There was no figure who seemed to wish to follow through with the will of the people and grant Britain her independence away from the EU. Theresa May was atrocious. Every time she tangled with the EU, she would capitulate to them more and more. She was a fucking terrible prime minister and left number 10 in borderline tears. Good riddance. Despite all of that, the public had several sort of unofficial referendums on Brexit, and in comes Boris Johnson, who, despite his Etonian history, could capture the working-class Englishman with his eccentric charm in a way that no other Conservative really could, culminating with the Tories riding the populist wave started by Nigel Farage and his Brexit party and getting them a massive majority, the likes of which hasn't been seen since Margaret Thatcher. Now, with all of that being said, and I'm not saying this because I'm a monarchist, it does appear that the parliamentary apparatus of Great Britain is unbelievably susceptible to subversion. It appears to be one giant cabal with two public faces, but behind the scenes says, hey look, we both hate the British public and all of their customs and their traditions and everything they stand for. So we will be the leaders who are crazy, and you can be the opposition and be crazier. Both keep marching towards the same direction, and as long as we maintain this facade, we can destroy the country, bankrupt the people, and loot the country dry and make off like wealthy bandits. And this looks to be the case, because if we look at the massive win the Tories got several years ago, have they in any way governed like Conservatives at all? Not a fucking bit. And on the main issue of Brexit, the unstoppable wave of immigration, that has not only failed to cease under the Tories, but it has in fact been amplified. I say this because Boris the campaigner versus Boris the Prime Minister seem to be two entirely different people. I remember him saying of the BBC, bashing Brexit Corporation, and he got a round of applause for that. Fast forward to the G7 summit, however, he's with the world leaders saying, oh, we need to build back better, greener, more equal, more feminine. Boris, how did you go from Burka letterboxes to filleting the World Economic Forum? Now, I'm not saying Boris is not self-interested and he's not some globalistic toffee, very well might be, but we do have a sort of monarchical expectation of our leaders despite this enormous hellish maze they must navigate. In Britain, it's known as the permanent civil service. If you want a good representation of that, go watch the show Yes Minister. Excellent show. The other thing is, if we look at populist movements, they're popular. There's always a figurehead. Is there a figurehead now for the Tories? No. And that's the worrying part. Nor is there anything that stands out as much as Brexit for them to galvanize around. I mean, there's plenty of things that are wrong with the country, but considering they didn't address any of those issues prior, there is no way in hell they're going to start giving a monkey bollocks about it now. I haven't the faintest idea who the Tories are going to front up, and anyone who says they know is full of shit, because it doesn't appear the Tories themselves know either. So we will have to wait and see, but I'm not exactly holding my breath that it will be some Trumpian-like figure with bollocks the size of coconuts. And that is all for today. I will see you all next time.